There's a new wave of children's entertainment, and in my personal opinion, it is one of the worst things you can ever let your kid watch, and might as well be classified as a curse upon humanity. Something happened during 2016, and I'm sure it's because we shot that damn gorilla, or maybe we're in the Weasel timeline. I don't know. Our children's entertainment has devolved into what is now the worst possible brain-rotting content I've ever seen in my life. And no, I am not just some bumblefuck idiot with no experience in this talking shit to make a quick video. I am a parent, so I have first-hand experience with what I'm about to talk about. And to be fair, I only have one kid and I haven't seen this with a lot of other kids. I don't interact with any other kids besides my own, so it could just be my child that this happens to. Seeing that it has happened to him, my assumption is that it's probably a bigger issue. Now, in today's video, I'm gonna be going over the three big ones and maybe a little mystery one in between. The three big ones being Disney Junior, Nick Jr., and Cartoon Network, as these are the channels and programming that has the most effect on younger kids. And by kids entertainment, I mean entertainment that was made for like 1 to 6 year olds, not really like anything above that. Even those though, we will talk about some of that. So what exactly happened to our kid shows? Like, not even that long ago, we had shows that were actually kind of cool. Not every kid show has to be educational, but I mean, if we're giving it to our toddlers, then yeah, sure, let's add a little bit of education, right? Even the ones that weren't, but now they're all kind of just dog shit, and they're like this weird CGI, hyper-colored TikTok bullshit. And that's not me just speaking with nostalgia glasses. I'm not trying to go back in time and be all like, back in my day, we didn't have this type of shit. No, like if you take a single look at anything on any of these big programs, big channels, you will notice the difference immediately from what you used to watch. A lot of kid shows made for the ages of 1 to 6 have no substance at all, like zero, literal brain rotting. There's nothing happening. And in my personal opinion, there's gotta be something that stops this type of fucking shit from getting on these channels. Because I can list you right now all the good kid shows that are out right now that are made for toddlers, and it might as well just be fucking Bluey because I can count all of them on my hand. First, we're gonna start off with Cartoon Network because I think it's the least egregious and it's a great way to grab you in the nostalgic lands. So what the fuck happened to Cartoon Network? Cartoon Network was one of the biggest channels for kids to watch. We had some of the most peak shows come out on this channel. We had Adventure Time, Regular Show, Amazing World of Gumball. We had Dexter's Laboratory, like some crazy good shit. Like my favorite honestly was like Ben 10 and Generator Rex when that was out. Beyblade, my God, did I love Beyblade. But then a show came out, and honestly, I would genuinely say this was the downfall of Cartoon Network. Uncle Grandpa. This show represents the beginning of the end of Cartoon Network. The show is basically nothing more than hyper-colored nonsense. It feels like TikTok. If you go back and watch these episodes, everything is happening within like 10 seconds, and none of it makes any fucking sense. Now, sure, not every kid show needs to make sense. I mean, Regular Show barely had a fucking plot. For the most part, don't get me wrong, there was some crazy fucking plot being built in the background, but for the most part, if you just watch the episodes sporadically, there's not really a plot. Amazing World of Gumball, same thing. But there's a difference, because there's at least nuance in those shows, and there's at least like substance, you know? With Uncle Grandpa, there was nothing. Like, it was literally just throwing shit at a fucking wall and seeing what's... And this trend continued throughout all of Cartoon Network after this point. We ended up seeing Teen Titans Go drop, and this being a success, I think destroyed the rest. Like, that was the nail in the coffin. After Teen Titans Go, we got a swarm of shows that basically followed the exact same line of thinking of just plot does not matter, funny shit happens within 10 seconds, don't even think, don't think, everything just getting thrown at you. And a lot of shows ended up getting canceled at this time as well, or just ended their run, and it ended an era. Right now, if you were to check Cartoon Network, there are probably like 6 shows available at the moment moment. The only original show that is currently running, I believe, is Amazing World of Gumball, because it's the only one that's stuck around. We still have Teen Titans Go. I believe Apple and Onion is one of the other ones that are around. We have Craig of the Creek, which isn't bad, but in my personal opinion, it is just a knockoff brand Kids Next Door. And also, it does not get anywhere as near as much runtime as the rest of these shows do. And all of the shows on here, again, are just hyper sensationalized, fucking hyper color, pop out into your face bullshit. It does sadden me seeing Cartoon Network in the state that it is in, because I grew up on this shit. I mean, they don't even have Bakugan's gone, Beyblade's gone, the new Ben 10 that they have on there makes literally no sense on why it exists, and it's just a lot of shit, I guess. I mean, to be fair, Cartoon Network isn't supposed to be like educational or anything, so it doesn't really matter. This channel you would throw on just to entertain. Hey, you, yes you, if you haven't subscribed already, you should. I know I'm saying this right in the middle of the fucking video, but hey, Mr. Beast told me to himself, so gotta do it. You gotta listen to Jimmy said so, you gotta subscribe. Now we're gonna move on to Nickelodeon and Nick Jr., because let me tell you the butchering that happened on this channel. What happened to Nickelodeon, in my opinion, is 100 times worse than what happened to Cartoon Network. Every show that you love from Nickelodeon is gone. It is a shell of itself, and they made sequels and prequels and whatever else you could fucking, like, they drained their shows of life. Everyone knows SpongeBob, right? You can't not know SpongeBob. And everyone knows the controversy that happened once its creator died. They went on record saying they don't want any spin-offs. The moment he dropped, there are now 2 spin-offs, and both of them are awful. One of them is this weird summer camp one where it's literally just CGI SpongeBob, but he's a kid, I guess. It's supposed to be like a prequel or something. This one is on Nick Jr., by the way, which we'll talk about Nick Jr. soon, don't worry. And then we also have the Patrick Star Show, which I don't even know if it's still running or not, but it's still a spin-off and completely disrespectful to the original creator's wish. Then we have Fairly Odd Parents. You probably know Fairly Odd Parents. I mean, it was one of the most popular shows on Nickelodeon. They turned it into a fucking sitcom. Actually, they turned most of their shows into a sitcom. The Loud House is now a sitcom. If it's not on Nick Jr., it is a sitcom. And even some of the shows on Nick Jr. might as well just be sitcoms. Why did they do this? I don't know. Sitcoms aren't exactly like the fucking rave of the town right now. All of your favorite shows that were on Nickelodeon are either canceled, got thrown into fucking spin-off hell, or became a sitcom. And they will let you know that all of them are sitcoms too, by the way, because if you hop on Paramount Plus, which is where they hold all of their shit, any and all of the ads that you get are either about the summer camp SpongeBob thing or one of your shows being a sitcom. Now let's get into Nick Jr., because this one is more egregious. Like I said at the beginning of the video, most of my beefs with children's entertainment is children's entertainment that is aimed towards toddlers, because a lot of it is really fucking bad, and it's nothing more than a distraction to get your kid to shut up. Nick Jr. is one of the worst offenders of this crime, in my opinion. Every single fucking show on Nick Jr. is a CGI hellhole that is exuberantly bad. The summer camp SpongeBob thing is on Nick Jr., like I said, and there is no substance. It is literally just SpongeBob, but for toddlers, which doesn't make any sense because SpongeBob on its own is an amazing show. Yeah, sure, you can show your kid that because it's fucking SpongeBob, who cares? So why make this? And then we have Paw Patrol. And in my opinion, this show was made to compete with Disney Junior, and that is its only reason to exist. Paw Patrol, for those that don't know somehow, is a kid's show about dogs who have various jobs. But a lot of the episode structure tends to just be, oh no, someone is stuck, we gotta go save them, or oh no, something got stolen, we gotta go get it back. And then they proceed to get it back, and there's not like any like crazy shit going on. It's just a kid's show. It's just Brainrot. You throw it on for your kid to shut up. There's also a couple others. I'm not gonna mention even naming them because they don't even really deserve to be named. The only good show that is on Nick Jr. right now is Blue's Clues. Yes, it is still going on. Unfortunately, it has fallen into the children's entertainment pitfall of being CGI, but it is not anywhere near egregious as any of the other shows on Nick Jr., simply because they still kept true to their original purpose, which was to help kids understand puzzles and like help them figure shit out and like give them a little more critical thinking skills, you know, like just to help toddlers do that shit. Now, what I'm about to say, I'm also going to say for Disney Junior because Bluey, but we'll talk about that later. There's a lot of dog shit on Nick Jr. In my personal opinion, it does not help to have Blue's Clues on Nick Jr. if you're throwing on like the actual Nick Jr. channel. If you're throwing on the actual Nick Jr. channel. The reason being is because you're gonna have SpongeBob, the fucking Paw Patrol, boom, Blue's Clues, right there. And with those two other shows, there is no substance, no nuance. Your brain is off. And then Blue's Clues pops up, which has, you know, a little more thinking that has to go into it than any of these other shows that are on here. Kind of defeating the purpose of Blue's Clues. Now, it's okay standalone, which Paramount Plus thankfully allows you to do. Unfortunately, Paramount Plus will also shove a metric fuck ton of ads in your face for shows like Big Nate, fucking cereal brands, fucking like literally anything brain rotting. So I don't really think that having Blue's Clues like thrown into the mix helps, honestly. In my personal opinion, I think Nick Jr. is one of the worst offenders of this crime. A lot of the content on Nick Jr. is made for the sole purpose of getting tablet kids to shut up and not have a thought, because they know that that's what parents want for the vast majority of parents. That is why you'll see kids like 3 to 4 on YouTube watching fucking Cocomelon for like the 17th time in a row in the past like 20 minutes. Which, I'll get into this rant right now, I guess. Cocomelon is kind of the reason all this shit has happened. You see, Cocomelon did something to our toddlers. It got them to shut the fuck up way easier than any other show could have. It's so bright, it's so colorful, it's so like weird and fucking brain frying that toddlers kind of just zone out and get into this trance when they're watching it. You don't gotta be a fucking scientist or like study all this shit to know that. You can go to your local Walmart and see it in almost every toddler that you end up running into. Any restaurant and there's a toddler. Any airplane, any public transportation, anything. Okay, any family gathering, you could probably see this at too. Cocomelon completely fucking ruined children's entertainment because now Nick Jr., Disney Jr., Cartoon Network, they all have to compete against that. Because it's way easier for you to just throw on YouTube, throw on Cocomelon and get them to shut up than it was to just turn on a channel and then hope that there's something there that is going to get them to get into a trance. I am blaming the parents, like halfway, because like I feel a lot of parents don't even consider what they're throwing on for their kid. They just kind of throw it on. They don't really study too much into it. They don't really care so long as their kid is entertained, which is not good because then you fall into these fucking pitfalls. But in my personal opinion, Cocomelon's not even the most egregious. That title would go to Disney. Disney Jr. is straight up fucking propaganda. I could make an entire video, like an entire standalone video on how Disney Jr. is straight up brainwashing your kids, because holy shit, is it bad. I don't know if it's maybe that I just fucking hate Disney, and I do have a personal vendetta against them. Like, I really don't like them. But Disney as a whole has been doing nothing for the past 20 years besides making fucking slop. And now every single show they have on Disney Junior is literally the exact same CGI, AI generated bullshit. If you guys don't know what is on Disney Junior, here's a list, and I will go ahead and show you every single fucking one of these shows. So there's a lot of shows on Disney Junior, a lot, and all of them literally follow the exact same fucking plot line and exact same like structure, except for one. And only one, which is Bluey. We have on Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Mickey Mouse Racers or whatever this is, Mickey Mouse Funhouse, we have PJ Masks, we have Spidey and His Amazing Friends, we have Puppy Dog Pals, we have Super Kitties, Dino Ranchers, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, what do all these shows have in common? They're all CGI. They're all CGI, and they're all probably made by AI, because none of them have any plot or any substance except for Bluey. In my personal opinion, this is the worst channel you could throw on for your kids. Even worse than Cocomelon, because they took the Cocomelon formula and threw it onto all of their fucking IPs. So you can have your kid watch Cocomelon, but this time it's Spider-Man. Or you can have them watch Cocomelon and this time it's fucking PJ Masks. Or this time it's Super Kitties. or maybe this time Now, you might be wondering why I'm going so hard on Disney Junior. It's because I've watched all of the shows on Disney Junior and I have personal experience with how fucking mind-numbing this shit is. I've seen my kid, because he watched a lot of Disney Junior when he was smaller than what he is now, and it would just turn his brain off completely, like no thought, to a point where if you were to turn it off at any time, he would have a mental breakdown because now he has to think. In my personal opinion, Spidey and His Amazing Friends is the most egregious example of this crime. There is no plot, there is no like story, there is no theme in any of these episodes. There is nothing. There's literally no substance. We don't even have like a basic theme to go off of. We don't have like a fucking tortoise in the hare type deal. We got no lessons to be learned. It is good guy catches bad guy, the end. That is what Spidey and His Amazing Friends is. And the reason why I'm saying that this is the most egregious is because this is literally just Disney propaganda. It is literally only made to get your kid to buy shit. There's no other reason for it to exist. It is a literal carbon copy of PJ Masks, which is about 3 superheroes that go into the night, fight crime, and the end, which is also just made to get your kid to buy shit. In every single one, including all of the Mickey Mouses, there is no substance, there is no theme, no plot, no nothing. You don't have to think. It is all CGI, hyper-colored, 20 minutes of pure fucking slop, and you are putting your child in front of this. It was a rough fucking ride to get my kid to stop watching this shit, because let me tell you, it is fucking crack to your kid. We got him on PBS. I'm serious. We got him on PBS because this shit was just egregious. He doesn't watch any Disney anymore because it is literally just a giant marketing scheme to brainwash your kid into becoming a Disney kid. Just like everything else Disney has done, they are coming after your children. And this does harm your kid because it can stunt their fucking growth. Like, straight up, it can. If you numb your kid out to this fucking extent with this type of shit, and it happens with Cocomelon too, don't get me wrong, you will numb your child out and they don't have to think. Now you might be thinking, well, Void, 3-year-olds don't think in general. That is a fucking lie. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I think that toddlers are way fucking smarter than we give them credit for. They're just little tiny humans. That's literally the only difference between us and a toddler, is they're just smaller and they're learning shit for the first time. Their brains are like a sponge. Whatever you throw at them, they're going to learn super quickly. My kid has trouble speaking, so I taught him sign language. Like, straight up, he learned sign language so quick and then proceeded to start learning how to speak way quicker because of that. We were trying to find good cartoons and good shows that would be able to help him learn to speak. We could not find anything on Disney Junior except for Bluey, which, now that we're here, let me tell you about Bluey. Bluey is one of the best shows I have ever fucking seen for a kid, and it has so much nuance, so much plot, and like the themes in every episode are amazing. But Bluey is one of the worst offenders of a crime that it doesn't even fucking commit. The reason I would say Bluey is bad for your kid is simply because it is on Disney Junior. You might be saying, what the fuck does that even mean? Well, let me tell you. The simple fact that Bluey is on Disney Junior with all of these other shows lessens the impact of Bluey itself. You see, Bluey has too much nuance. Bluey has too much theme. It has too much plot. There's an entire episode about death and loss, and there's an episode about your parents going away and the emotions that you might feel. There's an episode about fear. There's episodes about nightmares, about learning new skills, about interacting with other people and becoming more emotionally available. But none of that happens in any of the other shows listed below. If you were to just throw on Disney Junior, not like you're watching Bluey itself, because Bluey itself is amazing for your kid. It's not a fix-all, but it is amazing if you want your child to be a little more emotionally connected. But if you were to just throw on the Disney Junior channel, the issue would be that there is fucking Spidey and His Amazing Friends, PJ Masks, Mickey Mouse, and your child's brain is just gonna turn off. And then boom, Bluey, out of nowhere. Their brain's already off. Like, they're not paying attention to Bluey anymore. They're just fucking in a trance. So all of the nuance, all of the plot, and all of the themes that Bluey has that make it so great are just gone because their brain was already turned off from all this shit. Bluey is the only reason I believe Disney Junior is even around, honestly. And The other reason is literally propaganda. I mean, they don't have to shut down Disney Junior ever. It's fucking Disney, the mega conglomerate cult that for some reason we've just accepted into our life because, oh look, they made Cinderella and they made a bunch of good movies back then. Disney Junior is literally just propaganda. Like, straight up, it has no substance to it except for Bluey. But even then, with all the other shows, Bluey's impact is lessened a lot. And it wasn't like this like 10 years ago, by the way. There was like good shit on Disney Junior. Doc McStuffins was one of the examples that I could bring up here. It was a good show. It was okay. It had nuance, it had plot, there was like shit going on, you know? And it wasn't the only one either. Now sure, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse has been the staple of Disney Junior for a long fucking time, but there were good shows on there. There were a lot more than there are now. Of course, you can't find them on Disney Junior anymore because the only shows that they play is Spidey and His Amazing Friends, PJ Masks, all the Mickey Mouse shit, and like all the weird dinosaur shit for some reason. And then like an episode of Bluey or two every once in a while. This isn't such a big problem anymore because of Disney Plus, and you can just throw on Bluey there. The issue comes from people that don't have Disney Plus and actually just straight up watch the shows, which does happen. You might not believe it, but it does happen. Every fucking kids entertainment thing wants to just be Cocomelon. Cocomelon is the biggest crime to humanity. I don't know why it's still around. I can't believe that parents are still allowing their children to watch this shit, especially after all the weird Elsagate shit that it leads to, which is a video in itself that I will probably be making because, oh my god, YouTube has a kids entertainment problem. There is no fucking defending it. But Cocomelon is in between that fine line of like Elsagate and Blippi. But Cocomelon has started this fucking trend. It's the reason why every show and every fucking kids entertainment channel does this weird fucking CGI bullshit. And let's be real here. Most kids are not watching Disney Junior, Nick Jr. They're on TikTok and YouTube, baby. That is where the kids' content is right now because every fucking parent has bought their fucking 4-year-old a tablet or a phone, which they either throw on TikToks or YouTube, which there's a whole studies about why you should not even be doing that as an adult, so I can't even imagine what it does to your kid. This type of content, in my opinion, shouldn't be allowed whatsoever. I mean, like, it's literally rotting your child's brain. How so? Their attention span is going out the fucking window. Toddlers don't have good attention spans to begin with, right? We get our attention spans built up over time, but not if you throw them in front of TikTok. Not if you throw them in front of Cocomelon and these hyper colorful things where shit is happening every second. Now, another reason Cocomelon is probably one of the worst things that could possibly be given to your child is Elsagate, which isn't technically Cocomelon's fault, but it does lead to it. There is a rabbit hole on YouTube called Elsagate. If you have not heard of it, like I said, there's probably going to be a whole ass video I make on this shit. But through Cocomelon and autoplay, YouTube's algorithm will see that you're probably a child, and the videos that feeds you will go down this loophole of what other kids have been watching. And that usually ends up leading to either Sniper Wolf or Elsagate, or both. And what Elsagate is a hypersexualized and hyper-violent kids entertainment thing that uses Elsa and Spider-Man and like just things that kids like in these very weird fucking animations that are clearly AI generated to some extent, which is why kids should not be on this platform at all, because it will lead to this. All kids content ends up leading down to Elsagate. You have to be very, very fucking careful as a parent giving your kid access to YouTube because it will lead back to Elsagate. And the only reason parents are allowing this type of shit to happen in the first place is simply because they just want their kid to shut up and they're not really realizing what their kid is even fucking watching, becoming completely oblivious to what type of content they're giving to their kid. It is up to parents to figure out what the fuck they're showing to their children and try and make the best judgment calls they possibly can, because kids are fucking stupid. They are not gonna pick what is best for them to watch unless they are taught to do so. I just think it's a huge problem, and the next generation that comes out is going to have a huge problem on their hands when it comes down to their attention spans because of this type of shit, and I do not envy them. Only ones I feel like that aren't gonna have attention span issues are the ones whose parents actually paid attention, because a lot of times nowadays parents are kind of just on their phone. I don't mean to be bashing on all the parents. It's a hard fucking job, dude. I just wanted to to make this video to kind of give you awareness to what your kids are actually watching if you are a parent. And if you aren't a parent, hopefully this gives you a good look into what's going to happen when you do become a parent. Hopefully this gives you a launch pad to help your kid understand that some programming is gonna harm them over help them, and it may not be the programming you think. Anyways, I think that's where I'm gonna end the video. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you didn't, I don't know, dislike it, dude. Get off the video. I don't know. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so, please. Only like 2% of my subscribers actually watch my videos, which is hurtful to me because I pour my heart and soul into this, and you greedy bastards, and you're not subscribing, keep just being stingy with it, okay? You need to give me your subscription right now and turn on notifications, otherwise I'm gonna come to your house and I will put you in a trance and turn you into a goddamn frog. Shout out to the one and only silly goose on this channel, Harley. He has ascended beyond the normal human realm and become the one, the only silly goose, which you can do too, for only $5 a month. If you do become a silly goose, you get the best perks imaginable. We're talking badges, we're talking emotes, we're talking videos and posts for members only. If you become a silly goose, you will actually get superpowers. You will be able to jump from the earth to the moon. You will have laser vision. It is insane what being a silly goose can do for you. And hey, if you haven't already, go check out my last video. That was pretty good, so